Thursday afternoon chat. Your favorite artists with Jayar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, will you please put your hands together unless you're driving for my dear friend Zach Williams. How are we?
Great. How are you?
Good. Last interview we did, we had a hurricane coming at us, and so it was very difficult to have an artist in and have them, hey, let's dive in deep, because everybody on everybody's minds were, hey, how do I get my family out of here?
Yeah.
So everybody's, I got to do this interview with Jayar, but I also got to book a flight to get my family out of the path of a hurricane. So it's nice to not have that.
Yeah, it's great.
This time. I know you're coming to do a Christmas tour with For King and Country to some of our cities. I know Tampa, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know, you could go see the Nutcracker with your family in December, or come see For King and Country Zach Williams.
There you go. I'll take the second option.
It'd be cool to combine all that, actually.
Yeah.
A Nutcracker Christmas with Zach Williams. And no, we've got an EP from Zach Williams called Survivor, live from Harding Prison. Is there kind of a, obviously you see Johnny Cash go and do Folsom and just that vibe. Did any of that play into, hey, let's go do this would be cool?
I mean, obviously growing up in Arkansas, I was born about an hour from where Johnny Cash was born and grew up. Ever since I've been involved in prison ministry, it was something that I definitely wanted to do. It was kind of crazy when the day we went in to record it, somebody was like, this is the 50th anniversary of Folsom Prison. And we had no idea. We weren't planning that, but we got to looking it up, and yeah, it was recorded in 68, and we found out it was 50 years from when we'd done it, so it's pretty cool.
That's great. And the new EP has a song on it called Survivor.
Yeah, so Survivor was, kind of the idea behind the song when I first wrote it was my wife, she had a fire accident when she was about 14 years old, survived, was in a burn unit for almost 6 months, almost lost both of her legs, but by the grace of God, the top 3 plastic surgeons in America were in Memphis when the helicopter landed. And so she lived through that, and I just kind of got to thinking about that, literal fire accident that happened to her and how she survived that, and thinking about the things that we go through in life, and where we get to. And for me, I feel like we're all survivors, but I'm only a survivor through Christ. For years I was just surviving, and now that I have him on my team, it's I'm a survivor. And so the idea was to go into this prison and just kind of give these guys some hope and let them know that, you're going to survive through this with God.
Mm. Awesome. Did you make any connections when you recorded the album in the prison, and do you still keep in contact? I mean, did you connect with anybody?
Not in personally with prisoners. We partnered with a group called Men of Valor, and they're a big organization in Tennessee that's in the prison systems. And so my plan in the future is to stay connected with them and do more ministry like this. It's something I really want to be a part of.
That's awesome. I don't want to swell your head, but you're not an opener anymore. The first year when nobody knows your name, you have to end up on the front end of a show.
Yeah.
And now with just massive songs, everybody, they know your name now. You're the headliner now. But what do you miss about people not knowing who you were from those early years?
It's, to be honest, I'm a big guy, so it's hard to not get noticed, but the songs doing what they've done over the last couple of years hasn't helped the not getting noticed. Right. So it would be nice to sometimes just go back to being able to walk through an airport or into a restaurant and somebody not come,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm grateful and love where I'm at, and I don't take it for granted. So, but yeah, sometimes it's just nice to be able to do things and people not recognize you.
Right. Trust me. This is going to be an uncomfortable one, okay? And so hopefully you'll just take me somewhere. But when you have one song to go big, like you could ask Ryan Stevenson, who was at this for 10 years, and then all of a sudden Eye of the Storm goes big.
Yeah.
You can pay your bills a little better when a song goes huge. But then you get a second one in life. Not that I know we're all in ministry here, and nothing's about money, but I'm just kind of curious. When you have a third song go huge, can you admit to us the big purchase you made? And obviously I don't want to make you look like this is my question.
Yeah.
This is not you, but what's one thing that you're like, okay, I finally bought that?
Well, we built a new house this year,
okay.
So that was something that I turned 40 and built my first house. That was something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and financially I've never been able to do that for my family. So that was a nice purchase.
Yeah.
But if I was to go out right now and buy something for myself, which I'm not because I'm never home, but I've had my eye on a Dark Horse Chief Indian motorcycle for the last several years.
Okay.
So
Wait, so when you said you could finally afford to build a house, usually, like if I'm, okay, I can finally afford to build a house, I'm paying somebody to build a house. You actually built it.
I didn't build it. No,
Okay,
I mean,
I thought you were saying.
no, I mean, honestly, I probably could have. I worked construction for almost 20 years, but
Okay.
I wasn't home to do it. So we
Right.
hired somebody to do it, and we bought a house that
Okay.
was built for us. So
I still remember our last interview. I asked you, what's the latest thing you fixed? Like light bulbs,
Yeah.
chair. And you went straight into, well, I was making these ribs. I meant, not fixed. I meant like fixed.
yeah.
And it was a cultural difference
It's a
between
cooking
us.
thing for me, yeah.
Yeah.
But when somebody says, "What'd you fix?" I'm thinking dinner,
Yeah.
or supper, or something.
Do you ever have days where you see people working 9 to 5? Do you ever have days where you're like, gosh, it'd be nice to have that stability of a 9 to 5?
No, I
Okay.
don't, because like I said, my dad owned a construction company, and I worked for him for almost 20 years, and I don't miss waking up at 7 o'clock and being soaking wet with sweat by 7:30 and
Right.
hot all day and cold in the wintertime. Now, I don't know I've never had a desk job, so, but I don't miss the construction days at all.
Yeah, I can't even actually see you at a desk job.
The only desk job I guess I could say I worked at a church for about 4 years, and even then I couldn't stay in my office, so
Right.
I was out doing something all the time.
As far as being on the road, if I were to take wife and kids off the table, when you finally walk in the door and put your bag down, what's the one thing personally that you can't wait for if it wasn't hanging with wife and kids?
Cooking.
Cooking.
I really do. Like, I
Okay.
literally come home, and a lot of times, even if my wife and kids aren't home, I'll go buy a steak and some stuff and like cook a meal for myself and just hang out.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you put anything on the stereo? Do you need music to
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Because I'm the cook in our house.
Yeah.
And I go fancy with it.
Yep.
And so we have that in common, but I have to listen to the Hobbit soundtrack while I cook. It's something about the
That's awesome.
strings of the
Yeah.
Hobbit. What's your go-to?
I've
when you're
got a
cooking?
playlist on Spotify that I've been following called Swagger. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Some good music. So
I'll have to check that out. For King and Country Christmas tour coming up, so you're going to be gone during the months. You'll be on the road quite a bit when Christmas lights are up. You know, your kids are writing letters to say all that stuff. Do they come out with you, or are there breaks enough for you to enjoy Christmas-related activities when you're on a tour in December?
yeah, I mean the tour finishes up for me on the 16th. So
Okay, so it's not all.
I've
the way up
got I've got a week leading up to Christmas to recharge, and then I've got some time off in January. So looking forward to it.
Okay, so you'll be home in time to hang some lights.
Yeah.
And then do a tree.
I've already been told I'm hanging lights this
Okay.
year, so I better be home.
That's great. We're looking forward to having you in town, and always enjoy seeing your face, especially when there's not hurricanes rolling through. So
Nice.
great to have you in.
Good to see you.
The Thursday Afternoon Chat. Your favorite artists with Jayar.